The Earthworks SV33. Am I keeping it? Well, I discovered something really interesting about the noise floor. Check it out.
You're listening to the dangerous mind of Mark Yoshimoto Nemkov. No excuses, no BS, no pants.
Hey, all you microphone maniacs, VO pros, and assorted miscreants out there, it's Mark Yoshimoto Nemkov. And in my previous Earthworks SV33 video, I asked if it was too noisy for VO. I displayed a noise floor that showed that the Soyuz 017 FET was quieter than the SV33. Now, the 017 FET is supposed to have a higher noise floor than the SV33, 18, 15. But the Soyuz does not sound like it is noisier than the SV33. But I discovered something interesting about the noise floors of these two microphones. They're actually quite different. Check this out. This is the Earthworks, and this is the Soyuz. So I've calibrated both of these. This is the Earthworks, and this is the Soyuz. Now, the Soyuz is supposed to have a higher noise floor spec than the Earthworks. But it doesn't sound like it, right? Well, look at this. If I put both microphones on at the same time, it looks like they have an identical noise floor. If you just look at the If you just really look at the console. And here's the other thing. Look at this. Okay, the big takeaway for me is that the Earthworks SV33 has a noise floor that is completely different from that. Okay, the big takeaway for me here is that the noise floor in the 017 FET has a distinct rumble in it that is not present in the Earthworks SV33. Now, I think that has a lot to do with the design of this mic, in that it is supposed to be more true to its polar pattern throughout the entire frequency spectrum, whereas most microphones really tend towards omni in the low end and in the high end. Really, the cardioid part of most condenser microphones is really in the mids for the most part, and then it drifts. But this mic having more of a, I don't know if it's filtered or EQ'd or how they did it. Magic. The magic of this microphone is that it does not have that low-end omni. And although the Soyuz seems to have a lower, quieter noise floor than the hissy-hashy thing that you're hearing with the SV33, this is a lot easier to manage because that low-end rumble, that subsonic frequency, it really messes up everything. It's really an ugly thing to deal with. That low end, which is why, pretty much everybody uses a high-pass filter at least above 40. So it's a different noise floor. And the noise floor on the 017 FET, you can actually eradicate that if you really filter up to, what was it, about 8? This, you had to go all the way to like 15 to really get it so there was no self-noise. So that is, I think, what I was hearing, is that they are two distinctly different noise floors. And that threw me for a loop. I thought there was something wrong with this microphone, but it's the way it's designed. So I'll tell you what, even though it seems like it's a little bit noisier than that, the noise floor is actually a little bit easier to deal with on the SV33 because it does not have that Omni-esque low-end rumble. So that being said, my final conclusion: is the Earthworks SV33 too noisy for VO? No, it's not. It took a little while for me to get used to it because it's different. And like any work tool, you really have to get into it to know it. And even though my first impression was, what is this noise? My mic is not defective. It's not out of spec. I went back and I listened to the audio of a few other people using SV33 microphones. And I know YouTube is a terrible place to really check for audio fidelity, but I could hear the very same hissy, hashy SV33 self-noise in there. So I believe that's the inherent sound of this microphone. And as long as I can continue to use the expander and gate in the Neve AMS DFC, the Universal Audio DFC plugin, which works great, I'm not going to have a problem. I'm not going to have a problem with this microphone, and I'm not going to have a problem with this microphone. So yes, I'm keeping it. The Earthworks SV33. Not too noisy for VO, and it's staying. What do you think? Let me know what you think in the comments. I want to hear it. Let's have a conversation. All right, until next time, it's Mark Yoshimoto Nemkov, fading to black.